Welcome everyone, this is the 31 Days of Dread, and I am your host, Peter A. DeLuca, aka PAD, and this is where we do one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. That's 30, if you can't count, that's 31 movies celebrating the greatest genre of them all, the greatest experimentational platform of them all, the greatest young filmmaker discoverer of them all. It is horror, 31 days coming at you. Look out, ghouls and ghosts, it gets spooky. Alright everyone, coming out of that intro hot, this is what I call the telethon portion of the podcast. This is where I pitch myself to you for your support. Your support means everything to me because we're fighting, the AKAPAD army is fighting against algorithms everywhere. Algorithms, I ate some cereal earlier today, I dumped it into my bowl and it was full of algorithms. Okay, bad joke. Alright. Sharing this podcast, telling your friends about it, leaving comments, leaving reviews. This is how we grow AKAPAD's audio audacity. Your support there is more valuable than anything other than like a high five in person, because I'd love a high five in person. Welcome to day 2 of the 31 Days of Dread. This is also October 2nd. Yeah, that's right. Like every day there's an episode. We do the episode of the... Anyway, I'm sure you guys follow. People, we're still talking James Wan. We're talking The Conjuring. 2013, I saw this movie. I just literally just rewatched it. Just only saw it 2 times. Everything that stuck with me from the first time I saw this back in 2013. It's, what year is it now? 2021? Long time ago. Everything I remembered was there. You know, like the, even like some of the jump scares, which I don't understand why people don't like jump scares. Because if you're watching a movie like this that freaks you the F out, you want jump scare so you can watch it with a babe. These slow, methodic, non-scare movies bore babes to death. And like, you know, like Hereditary is, it's a masterpiece, right? Magnificent, brilliant movie is Hereditary. But it's not this. And we do have different approaches, different intents. The Conjuring, number 1, is a freaking period piece movie that works. The music is great. The fashion. I mean, how do we not get a Oscar nomination for best costume design? Even like, look, I'm not always behind period pieces getting Oscar noms for best costume, because it's almost like you're just copying. You're just copying. But I get it. I mean, it does take skill to put something together. It does take a level of insight. You gotta know your shit. But this movie works on so many freaking levels. It works within like a marriage, within a relationship. It works within 2 people who like almost have a higher calling. It works with the struggle of a family. You know, again, family moves into a house. That house is a gateway to hell. We know that trope. But really, we have to consider these things sometimes. We have to look at the composite of the movie. We have to look at the different fractions. The makeup is dead on. The girls, the siblings in this movie are so freaking awesome and strong. When they get freaked out, we get freaked out. Some of these jump scares, I get it, they're gimmicks, but boy, do they work. And like we get this birth of a $1 billion franchise. I can't say that enough, because sometimes these things that catch fire, and then we see almost like what other magicians can wield from the fire. Conjuring 2, Conjuring 3, Annabelle series, The Nun, like spin-off after spin-off after spin-off. And then we have this, like, I guess, like the level world building. God, I hate that term. But the level world building that's in this movie, which is the trophy case. Right? Like there's a trophy case of all of these artifacts, or like trophy room of artifacts that are possessed by demons, and they have to be cared for. I mean, that alone is, I mean, like, technically, isn't that the plot of the Friday the 13th TV series? Right? It's so freaking cool. That alone can be its own thing. So, I mean, that's why this movie's so unique. That's why this is not Poltergeist. And it's so tough when you watch a haunted family movie. You know, like, you have to always compare them to Poltergeist. Because Poltergeist just nailed these levels. Like, almost like subconscious levels. You know, and it's maybe my fault. I mean, Poltergeist should have been year one of the 31 Days of Dread. They really should. I mean, I've spent too long even not doing the entire Poltergeist series, because I do enjoy the backstory in 2 and 3. I do. I think they're solid. But this movie, I think it's true horror. I think it's true demonic possession. The exorcist scene in this movie, I mean, like, even at the end, when the girl's possessed and she runs into it, like a corner, like in the wall, and they're clawing through a wall in absolute darkness, trying to continue the exorcism. And it reminded me of the ending of Rob Zombie's Halloween, where, like, all of a sudden you're just everyone's like crawling in the tunnel, like at the end of that movie, and you're like, with Christmas lights all around. You're like, what is this? You're watching a freaking movie. Okay, wake up. Like, time to roll it in. And you have to realize that. And what this movie does too, it also pulls in the real world. The idea that this was a real couple. The end credits, the end title cards that tell you how things wrapped up. And then you see the pictures of the real families and the real siblings. The end credit sequences for all of these movies are so artful and amazing, and every single piece of this movie can in itself continue into another movie. I mean, it's almost, it seems like it's designed that way, but it's not, because they spent good money. It's a $20 million movie, The Conjuring. It grossed like $325 million. I mean, like, freaking what a return. But no, people, don't let the jump scare criticisms get you away from this movie. This is one of the best period pieces of the modern day. Everything rolls into the idea of this demon not going away, and they have to go through these extreme measures to fight the demon. And it's really cool. The demon logic works. The Christianity, or, like, you know, you have to be baptized to be exorcised, some of that logic works. They do address it. This movie has a through line. The points or the plot holes or the tropes are thought through. It is a heightened movie with amazing jump scares. Some of the best jump scares in the game. And I'll say this before I leave. I just remember seeing this movie, Insidious, and Sinister all within, like, somewhat of a block of time. And we'll have to, like, double check, like, what years and dates all of those, like, came out. But, you know, that's a little, and we have to put in Paranormal Activity. But that right there is like a little bit of the nuance of the birth of a genre tangent, of a side alley within this. Like, a lot of the movies within the 70s was demonic possession by cult. And now they're like, it's almost like we're doing these like retro movies. And we're taking away the satanic occult element, and we're just adding straight up demon possession. And we're just going to go with it. Like it's very bold. I think it's smart. I think, again, people are building on top of one another, and this is where we give so much credit to James Wan, because there's even one of my favorite sequences in this movie is they're doing this prep. They're like, setting up all their filming and audio equipment throughout the house, and the camera's rotating, and it goes from like door frame to wall, and we can see inside the door frames, like the rooms, but it's rotating, and they're in a different room every time we're like rotating past the wall, and we just see like all the different rooms and all the different equipment. It's one hell of a gear up scene. Probably one of the best gear up scenes in all of these movies. There's technical mastery here that no one gives James Wan credit for. Go watch The Conjuring and let's go down this rabbit hole together, because tomorrow is, holy crap, The Nun. I'm so obsessed with The Nun. And The Nun is introduced in Conjuring 2, 31 Days of Dread. Let's go. And to continue this telethon, where we're not talking about high five, there's other ways to support me. I'm a living professional. I'm a full-time freelancer. Anything you see on this, like here on this podcast, or see in my social media, I make everything. It's all made by me. That's a part of my pitch to you. And you can purchase professional services through AKAPAD.com. That's a pipeline to me if you want to send me a message. But also, while you're there, you can sign up for my newsletter. You're going to get deals. You're going to get coupons. You're going to get 2 free trading cards mailed to you free worldwide. And they're 2 Wolfpack trading cards, 2 original characters, for upcoming comic book work. And speaking of comic books, you can go to Etsy, type in Uzi Susie, and that's where you're going to find my mini comic. You can purchase existing issues and pre-order upcoming issues along with bundles if you missed any, like issue 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. There, Uzi Susie is waiting for you. And keep an eye on Indiegogo. A lot of my bigger comic book projects will be available through Indiegogo. All of those updates will be here on this podcast, so if you're a regular listener, I'll let you know. We can rock and roll from there. So everyone, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me on social media, AKAPAD69, Instagram, and Xbox. That's right, you can play Halo with me. Just straight up AKAPAD on Twitter, straight up AKAPAD on the Facebook. My business page is there. My personal page is there. Hey, be a personal friend of mine. I don't care. Let's talk movies. Let's talk creativity. Let's talk fun, and just, who cares? Do you like, the Transformer movies? I love them. We can talk about that all night. So meet me there, and we'll rock and roll. Let's get talking. We got a movie to discuss.